So you're from a family background where people do studies, they do job and they settle. Okay. That's what technically majority of Indians also do. So I'm going to give you a situation. I'm going to give you a situation where an Indian situation where you need to convince your dad about you pursuing your photography. Okay.
This
So,
is so funny. Yeah.
so let's go.
I'll tell you why this is funny, because actually that happened to me.
Whoa! Okay, so we can have that live story. Tell me about it.
All right. So the thing is, the same as probably in India, you got to get your education, and there's good reasons for that. I mean, without an education, if anything fails, you're screwed, baby. You're not on, in India, you're on the street, but in Holland, okay, you're not on the street, but you're not doing as well as you wanted to be. But I come from a very traditional family background. You go to university, you get your law degree, or maybe economy degree. I come from pretty much a background of either lawyers or people who studied law or being engineers. So here I am, being 18, didn't know what to do with my life. So I figured, I'll go to university because, that's what my parents want me to. So I did that, and I absolutely hated it. I finished it because, I thought I owe that to my parents. They spent money on my education and they put a lot of time and effort in getting me educated. I just really, really didn't like it. So as again, the story, I started doing photography during my studies, and I kind of knew that was going to be my big love thing. My mother actually was very, very artistic. She was a very good painter. She could photograph really well. So I used her camera when I was a kid, just for fun. So here comes this point in my studies that I'm really hating it. I switched studies, but I had some months off. So I saved my money, bought a camera, and started photographing. I had just pure love. So I finished my studies. So here comes the big talk, as you said. So I kind of, I softened the blow for my parents a little bit by saying, I'm just going to try for 1 year, knowing full well that's not going to be 1 year. And I told them, if it's not working out, if I can't make money out of this, I'll seek a regular job for which I'm educated and for which I've studied really hard. But in the back of my mind, I just knew perfectly well I was never going to do that. And it worked out. I lived a year just below the poverty line, or around the poverty line, but I had the best time ever. And it slowly started picking up. So I figured it out, is this going to work? So I told my parents, it's going to be another year. And then my parents got really pissed off, to be honest. They really, really didn't like. And that actually, it took them quite some time. And the funny thing is, I was doing some travel photography as well for a local newspaper, which is still a huge newspaper. It's the second biggest city in the Netherlands. So I showed them, this is also what I do, because they didn't understand the skate snowboard thing. They're a different generation. But when they saw a newspaper with my photos in it and my stories on a travel to South Africa or whatever, it finally clicked. But it really got to the point that they would harass me, when you're going to seek a regular job. And then there was a point where, for me, it was clear I was going to pursue photography for the rest of my life. And I literally told them, if you're going to bring this up one more time, you're not going to see me for half a year. I'm just fed up with it. You bet either support me now, or at least respect my decision to do where my heart is at. And they finally realized at that point that it was not a fluke, that it wasn't something just a snap decision, that I've been working on it. And that worked. From that moment, they stopped discussing it, and they got prouder and prouder ever since my experience grew. They didn't understand anything about the whole dance music or the skateboard or the snowboard photography, but they knew I was doing really well, and they knew I was traveling all over the world. Sadly, my father didn't make to see the book. My mother saw the dummy of the book. She died 5 months before the book finally came out. But I know they were very proud of what I did. But it wasn't easy at all. And it just, I literally meant it. I said, that half year, I'm not going to come back. I was fed up with it. I said, there's a point where you got to respect me. But they did respect it because they knew I was that serious. They knew that I was just fooling around. I was really putting in a huge effort to make this work. And if you want to make it work as a photographer, you better work your ass off. And it's not going to be easy. And you got to work on being super reliable, being really, really good. And it's not just a thing you do. If you're going to do it, you better do it really, really well if you want to make it, because otherwise there's a ton of other people who will go swish straight by you. But if you're that dedicated, yeah, for sure. Why shouldn't you work? Why shouldn't it work?